We OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got D or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Yeah. Experts on reload. Yeah. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got D or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock. Ayy. Runes is coming. Everybody on a knot. Ayy. It's a nuisance. Ordinal Revolution. Ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the seal. Merlin. I got balls of steel. Nuki on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution. Ayy, Bitcoin is the one, no substitution. Ayy, with Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We are live for the Ordinal Hour, and this one is going to be absolutely insane because this morning was just crazy. We had Cynthia Loomis come out like 20 minutes before 10 a.m. and was like, hey, huge news today. And we were all thinking strategic Bitcoin reserve. The price of Bitcoin went from 101 all the way up to 105. In seconds. It was like absolutely crazy, and then back down to 103 with a slow grind back up to 105. I think we even hit 106 earlier, but now we're sitting at 105 420, so which is very convenient. But as I look over there, but I'm excited, guys, because we have a lot of news here, and the big thing for the show today is Arch Network. So right now, if you're in a Bitcoin ecosystem like us, you're hurting. Your bags are hurting. Your momentum isn't there. You just don't know what to look forward to. Well, we got you guys. Arch Network is something to look forward to. And to me, if Arch does what it's supposed to do, if it is exactly what they want it to be, which is Solana on top of Bitcoin, it's going to be absolutely insane. But if they fail, I think our ecosystem might fail, but maybe not. I don't know, guys. I'm excited. I'm excited for today's show. So without further ado, we bring in my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up, man? So you got backlash this morning, huh? All the way up, all the way back down. How you feeling about everything?
Yeah, it was a whiplash for sure. Trying to figure out what the announcement actually was, and it seems like that she's being voted to be the chair for the digital, I think was it the digital asset committee for the banking committee, right? So that's big news. I think that's actually big news for our space. She's probably just really excited about that, but I think a lot of people were expecting the strategic Bitcoin reserve news. We'll see if we get something later today.
Yeah, 100%. But it was crazy, though. What were you thinking when this came out? Her big announcement this morning, big things are coming. What was going through your head? And what was your final conclusion?
So the Bitcoin B kind of made me feel like it was the SBR, right? The strategic reserve. And I think a lot of people were thinking the same thing. But I'm not mad about it. Look, Bitcoin climbed back after it dumped. So it had that big huge green candle after the post, and then big dump, kind of waiting, and then figuring out that it wasn't what maybe we thought it was, and then climb back up. So I'm happy where we are. We're at 105.6, and I do think like there's positive sentiment around our space right now, but there is a lot of volatility. You know, whether it's these meme coins on Solana going, nuts. There was another one last night that launched called Vine, based off of the application, the video application from like 2012, and it really caught because it was the previous owner of Vine that launched it, and so that kind of sucks some liquidity out of the markets. But then you have Bitcoin kind of doing these like seesawing type of activity because we are waiting for great news, and in the meantime, like the market makers are kind of playing with us.
Yeah, the Solana meme coin stuff is so bad for the markets because you can just see as soon as one catches, as soon as one gets from over 100, 200 million, the entire market just craters. You've seen it time and time again since Trump's, and I think that's going to continue. And if we just kind of keep doing this over and over and over, we're not going to get anywhere. We're going to keep being in the same carousel that we're going to be in. You might see Bitcoin hit up, but the rest of the assets, it's just going to be the same thing over and over. And I just don't see how we can do both. I don't see how we can keep having these meme coins go to these insane market caps, but continue because there's not a lot of money here. There's not enough to sustain multiple billion-dollar coins, especially in these shit coins Solana out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, once alt season starts and that happens, we can definitely sustain it. We can sustain that.
But I mean, we're far from that. It looks like
Well, I mean, we'll see. Because it's typically like February is whenever things go up, but nothing has been typical about this cycle. So that's the thing, right? If it does come, and some people are anticipating it, a lot of people are anticipating it, it will be able to sustain these meme coin pumps. We've been through this in previous cycles, but that liquidity does need to come over. And let's say that the problem isn't necessarily the meme coins, it's the liquidity, right? Like, because let's say that it stays the same, all season doesn't start. The liquidity being in one sector is always going to bring other parts down, and you saw it with AI too. Actually, like other parts did come down as AI went up, and that's just kind of the unfortunate truth of what where we are right now, this very moment.
But the problem is though, these are pump and dump schemes. Like this, you're not investing in this long term. Like anyone who invested in Vine yesterday is not investing in this for the bull run, right? It's just a pump and dump scheme. It's going to be done by probably like the next 3 weeks. You're not going to hear about it anymore. It's going to be like 100 million liquidity, probably because there's going to be like bag.
That would be great.
Can't get out
if there was 100 million liquidity.
Well, I'm just saying, like total, because but you can't get out. Like they won't be able to get out. Like they're gonna be like $100 million in bag in value, but they just can't get out. And that's what happens to a lot of these meme coins, especially the whales. And like 99% of this new coins that happens, they're just being sniped by whales, and everyone else is kind of buying their bags on their way out.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think that some of look, the unhealthy parts of the degeneracy, that part I agree with. But like the ones that do hit and build communities around them and stuff, they sustain for the most part, right? I mean, we've seen it. And so that I think is going to continue. There's nothing that's going to stop it. But let's not act like there isn't like toxicity in the AI sector as well, like with the virtuals. I mean, like every day there's tons of people.
They're investable.
Yeah, but there's a lot that aren't. There's 90% aren't though. 90% people lose.
No, that's not true. I would say about 60% are investable projects.
We could pull up virtuals right now and go.
This is the Ordinal Revolution. I don't think we should do that.
Yeah, because you're gonna be proven wrong.
No, I'm not, dude. They're seriously like the top 20 are definitely investable.
So
like without a doubt,
all of the ones that were launched. I'm talking about all the ones that are
fair though,
launched.
because that's like it's pump. It's the same thing as pump fun. That's not fair to say. A lot of them are bullshit.
Yeah, right. So that's what
we're
gonna
have to agree to disagree.
It's gonna be toxic. It's toxic as hell.
You're toxic in this toxic meme coin bullshit. That's the problem. You're trying to defend an area. You're trying to defend an area that's you can't defend it. It's completely ruining. Ever since Trump got in, meme coins are different now. They're different for the sense of you're just pumping these billionaires' bags. That's all you're doing. And it's kind of sad.
Well, I mean, there's communities around.
You're not pumping.
Ones.
There's no communities around these coins.
Previous ones, I said. You need to calm your
dog with hat
calm down a little bit, brother.
Is being destroyed right now. Like all the coins, actual communities are being destroyed right now by this new style of pump and dump schemes. Like they're not. It's not fun anymore. The whole point of meme coins in the beginning was to disrupt. It make fun. It was fun. It was exciting. It was the FU to the traditional finance, and now it's just they've joined the party. It's no longer fun. But
yeah, for the Trump coin, I agree with that. But the ones that previously were here, I mean, Dog with Hat still has a $1.43 billion market cap, and
but
I
it's
think it
down
does
80%.
I mean, 24 hours is up
Three.
12%.
Yeah, but 80% since its all-time high.
Oh, I don't know what the all-time high is. Let
It was
me
like
see
3
right here.
billion.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
but
just
a
a
lot of
shell
stuff
of
is down
itself.
too.
Yeah.
But I do think it picks back up. But yeah, let's move on.
BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says he wants the SEC to approve tokenization of bonds and stocks. This is absolutely insane. If this does happen, we're actually gonna get real assets here, not bullshit meme coins. We're actually gonna get real assets that you're gonna be able to invest in, and that's what the thing is. So we need to get to a point where we're in stuff that we're actually investing for the future, and not stuff that you're gonna dump in 2 weeks. And I think that we get that with tokenized stocks and bonds and so much more. So much liquidity is going to enter the space just for these assets alone.
Yeah, stock market 2.0 pretty much,
Yeah.
and I mean, at the end of the day, it's like some people are going to be like, well, why didn't you guys just invest in the stock market, and stuff. But I would say this, if that is the response, I would say because the stock market was already gamed, yes, you could do some really good research on some new innovative companies and probably do well, hit on some of them. But I think over here we kind of reset the rules a little bit, but they are trying to inject their power and their influence into our area.
Think what happens though. It's a 24-hour market now. Once you tokenize Amazon, you can't stop it at 4 o'clock. Once you tokenize GameStop, you can't stop it from doing a 5x in 30 seconds, right? You can't stop it no more. The rules have changed once they tokenize it.
Yeah, the rules definitely changed, but the one positive thing that I think is really big if this happens is the capital and liquidity that comes into our realm, right? Because now you're tokenizing all these things that people can just liquidate themselves and then get into Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever they choose to get into. So that's the big bonus I think that we got to remember. So,
and LP pools. I can now have an Amazon Ethereum LP pool. Right, like I think that's you can decentralize this stuff now, right?
Well,
so if you tokenize it, and I can actually have it in token, and there's nothing stopping me from taking it to Uniswap, and it's tokenized. It's an ERC20. I can have it up against Ethereum in a LP pool.
Yeah, so if Larry Fink is talking about like a true tokenization of it, like then yes, you can probably bridge it out. But I don't know if they would want that, because they want to have the control to be able to make sure that like let's talk, for example, let's say like there's just like this rally or protest against a company. That company could literally just burn to the ground because everybody liquidates it, kind of like the opposite of what people did for GameStop, right? But they had the controls to kind of get in the back of everything, which I don't agree with, right? I do agree with this decentralization world. I'm talking about from their perspective. They were able to kind of get into the dark pools and stop the bleeding at some point. They wouldn't be able to do that here.
Well, you would always have someone come in and try to buy the dip, right?
So then it's if there's so much sell pressure and shorting of it, and the public has way more power in terms of shorting over here than they do in in traditional finance. So
it's definitely something to think about. It's definitely something cool, but I would love.
I want it.
Yeah, you could be right though. They could centralize this, and just it be the same thing. Right now they're trading paper, right? But at that point it would actually be coins. But you would need a fast blockchain. You would need something like Sonic. Sonic right now is the fastest blockchain out. But you would need something probably faster than that, right? Which like 100
even faster than that.
I mean, to trade the stocks the way they do, I mean, it's a blink of an eye over there because it's very centralized.
But didn't you say it's like instantaneous?
It is, but I think you need it to be faster than that. You need it to be like,
you know what I mean? Like yesterday.
So, well, you got to think 10,000 TPS, right? That's only 10,000 transactions a second. So that's not enough for those guys. They you know what I mean? They do like millions of transactions a second because it's so big, it's so large, right? You would actually need a lot more bandwidth on the chain.
Yeah.
So. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. What's up?
Oh, I did want to say one thing because you're right on that. You said 10,000 is Sonic.
Yeah.
So Visa and MasterCard are currently, because it's centralized, 24,000 transactions per second. So
yeah, so you need about double Sonic, and Sonic is like the fastest blockchain out right now. So you need to double that minimum. So
gotcha.
BlackRock CEO Larry Fink predicts Bitcoin BTC will hit 700,000. CEO is the biggest asset manager in the world. Once you're Bitcoin, you aren't bullish enough. So this is Larry Fink watches the channel. I'm convinced he watches Shizzy. He knows my prediction. No, I'm just kidding. But he is basically following the stock to flow. And people said that about him before, that like he followed gold stock to flow pretty well. And now he's continuing. He's actually using the same stock to flow that Plan B uses, because the stock to flow is nothing new. Plan B didn't create it. He just took what gold did and basically broke it down and added on top of Bitcoin. But he cut the, he took gold's, vast history and smashed it into Bitcoin's, 20, 30 years, because it predicts way out. So Larry Fink is basically following that. And that's it, Plan B he was a stock guy. So he's not like, now he's a Bitcoiner, but at the time when he created this, he was just following the stock to flow.
Yeah, and you can imagine like all the resources and tooling that Larry Fink has. He has the smartest people in the world, with forecasting, predictions, and then they use like software like Aladdin that is amazing, right, for trading and all that stuff. So I would imagine if he wants to be like at almost pinpoint accurate, he can. Obviously, time will tell if that's true, but I would say no one has the resources or tools at hand's length than he does, so
yeah, 100%. And he kind of gets his way, right? So he Standard Chartered predicts a surge in institutional Bitcoin investment in 2025, with pension funds that could lead the charge. So pension funds, they're the biggest investors, right? There's 5, 10, 50 trillion in some of these pension funds. Once they get involved, 1% of a $50 trillion pension fund would be absolutely insane.
Yeah, it would be. There's going to be a big shift, and we're starting to see it right now. I do think people are waiting for the SBR to be announced in some, like at least some information. Once that happens, I do think that like it's going to be crazy. But I am bullish that the states are doing it, or at least putting the legislation in. But yeah, we're going to see more stuff like Standard Chartered, and people are starting to trust Bitcoin more and more from an institutional level. You can see it already.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's going to be insane this year. I mean, we're seeing Bitcoin right now at 106. I just think that, dude, we're going to see numbers that we didn't think we were going to see. And it all starts with you're right, with the strategic reserve announcement or planning. But now with Cynthia Loomis in this role, she can really just kind of push the narrative a little bit more, right? So she's going to have her own committee, and what the committee usually do, and I could be wrong about this, but don't they usually talk to other senators and stuff? Isn't the committee's job to kind of bring people the narrative that they convince the people the narrative that they want to produce?
Yes, they have to make decisions or put things in front of Congress and stuff like that, and but I do think that there is this shift that's happening, like I said, after this election, to where both sides of the aisle, the right side has kind of always been pro Bitcoin, pro crypto. The left was very little percentage and now that little percentage has grown because they want to win their personal elections, right? And so they know that there's a lot of funding going in from this space to kind of support pro crypto government politicians.
Yeah.
And so I do think it's going to be a very positive pro crypto government, actually, probably from here on out.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see, especially what we dealt with the last 4 years. So looking forward to this year 100%. But we do have scumbags like this next one. And I hate meme coins. I'm on this like anti meme coin agenda right now, but this is kind of makes me think otherwise, just in terms of California Representative Maxine Waters warned that President Trump's Trump meme coin could pose national security risk, alleging it allows anonymous transfers to Trump and his circle. Total bullshit. She does not understand how crypto works. We can all see that stuff on chain. It's not how it works. I don't know. I hate this lady so much.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either. Yeah, I just think this is kind of finding things that they can, throw socks at him about, right? And so this is just one thing that they're gonna probably bring back up again, I imagine, right?
Yeah,
I just think it's kind of ignore them at this point.
100%. I just hate them. I hate them. But Morgan Stanley CEO says the bank is working with regulators to offer crypto transactions. So now banks want to do crypto transactions. Like right now, any FDIC certified bank is not allowed to make a crypto transaction. But they're working with regulators now. So this could be absolutely massive, especially when the banks get. I mean, banks control the money, right? They can they can they can borrow from the federal bank and then use that money to do whatever they want with.
Yeah, but this is like an opportunity that they're looking at, in my opinion, right? Because they're
Yeah.
probably the past 12 months more specifically, or 6 months, let's say, whenever they felt like maybe the country was going into one direction with crypto, they're probably looking for every opportunity from a revenue standpoint. And this is a big opportunity because right now, the fee game isn't that competitive, but it will be if there's larger institutions that give you cheaper rates, right? And so this is something that we want right now, in my opinion, because you want to be able to not lose. Like if you're trying to transfer out 10 grand, you don't want to lose like almost $1,000 because of fees, right? Like that's not
Yeah.
sustainable, I think, if you're running a business, at least.
Yeah.
And so this is a good thing, in my opinion. But we'll see.
100%. Yeah. And one thing too is like, yeah, there is super fees on a lot of stuff, but like a lot of these places can get away with this, PayPal, Coinbase, with just giant fees because overseas players can't play yet, right? Like Mexi can't play, Binance can't play, right? Mexi, I mean, the fees are almost nothing. What happens when they're able to take in customers, United States customers? Like what happens to these fees? Like why would you use Coinbase? Why would you use PayPal and the other ones when you can use something like Mexi in the future?
So this is where I think things can get kind of, mucky, like a bit like to where, they're going to be more pro, US type of approach with this. Look, you can get cheaper fees if you utilize this institution, this third party. If you use anything outside, they might tax it more or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
but like I do think that they're going to probably look to see how U.S. companies can benefit as much as possible with stuff like this. And it makes sense, kind of like from like our government, right? So you can't be too mad about that, but like you also want to make sure you're still getting like really low fees, because that sucks, right?
Yeah. I mean, right now it's
If
awful. I
that's the
mean,
case.
you do a trade on Coinbase, you lose, 1% of it, 2% of it. It sucks. So, but yeah. But these banks, to the point there, the banks being able to do that would be, the fees will have to get cheaper for sure. But
Yeah.
here's something absolutely insane. Ledger co-founder reportedly kidnapped with Bitcoin ransom demanded, according to French media. And then this morning, that was from yesterday during the show. And then this morning, Ledger co-founder David Balland released after kidnapping. So he's been released. I'm guessing they paid the bail. But this is what I'm saying, guys. This is why you don't, post your stuff online, right? You don't post how much money you have. You don't want to say, yo, I have, this much money. You don't want to do that because then people know exactly what the ask for the ransom is. So just be careful out there, especially if if you're doxxed. I mean, this is the dangers of being doxxed. This is why people don't want to be doxxed, right? So, insane, absolutely insane.
Yeah, someone at his like that is a public figure like him, though, it's a little different. Like I'm pretty sure he wasn't posting like how much he's worth and all that stuff. But like I do agree with your statement in terms of you got to be careful, even if you show $10,000 or whatever, right? Because they'll know exactly you have at least that, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you're that big and you're that known, it's different. But like I'm just saying, for the people out here who not accidentally, but stupidly, post maybe a screenshot of their portfolio, right? It's not a good idea, and you're putting a target on your back. So, but anyone's if coming on a crypto show and talking about crypto, I mean that alone puts target on your back. Because everyone needs to be very, very careful out there. So this stuff's going to happen more and more, in my opinion. Next thing here, Binance Labs rebrands to YZI or YZ Labs, expanding investment focus to Web3, AI, biotech with a new leadership from former head Ella Zhang and CZ to mentor the founders directly. What do you take from this?
Yeah, I feel like it's almost kind of like a mixture of like his name and maybe Ella's. I don't know, but it's cool. You know, he sounded like he wanted to do something a little different than what he did before he went to prison, right? So
Yeah.
maybe this is it. Maybe it's him kind of going into the deep research side of things, trying to make the space better. But yeah, and also maybe they did this too because like so many people are like, oh look, Binance posted this or Binance posted that. They're
Yeah.
gonna do this or they're gonna do that. So this kind of removes a little bit of that confusion part.
Gotcha. And Binance Labs, they're a different Twitter than Binance, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
It's actually
Yeah, yeah,
that.
I got
Yeah.
it.
So I think it's still at Binance Labs because they weren't
Yeah.
able to change the Twitter tag.
Yeah, you're right. It's just yeah, but the top part says YZ Labs, but it's at Binance Labs for sure.
Exactly.
Coinbase urges appeals court to rule crypto trades aren't securities, calling it a matter of immense importance for the multi-trillion-dollar crypto industry. So Coinbase is, I mean, we're on day 3 of the new SEC chairman, and Coinbase is out there, and they're saying, hey, we need security laws now. Like they don't want to wait. They don't want to wait at all.
Yeah, yeah. I hope that happens, but I don't think it's going to, right? Like, because they're going to have to go through each situation uniquely. But I don't know. But maybe they have a really good communication with Washington, especially like Cynthia Loomis, because I'm pretty sure Brian Armstrong's had plenty of conversations with him. The Gemini brothers have as well. So maybe she goes for it.
Yeah,
Tries to push it.
Let's get it through. I think crypto being labeled as commodity or maybe something new. That would be how cool would that be if we get our own thing? Just crypto. It's not a commodity. It's not a security. It's just crypto.
That would be cool. Digital asset.
Yeah, digital assets. Yep, 100%. Crypto whales dominate holdings of Trump and Melania tokens, making up for 94% of the combined token share, according to Chainalysis. 94% of the Trump tokens are held by whales. What do you take from that?
I think that they're setting themselves up for this bull run. So it's good. Trump's gonna have that token's gonna have a bad bear market start because they're gonna take profit at some point, right? And if there's 94% whales, that's gonna be a lot of profit taken. So
yeah, so it just shows you that it's being held by the top guys, and again, I think they're selling this thing down though as they go. They're waiting for Coinbase listing to start happening and stuff. They want to dump these on retail. That's my opinion, and they're not ready yet.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, that is a really high percentage of whales. But
Yeah,
again, like if you got in early and you weren't a whale, you made out like a bandit. And I know that you couldn't have got in too early. I think it was like 70 million, maybe 50 million. I don't know what the number was, but like it went up
you got
to
in
what,
between 70 and 150. You had a snipe.
Yeah. So then what about before that?
It was insider buying. That's what they consider insider buying.
So then what's the market cap all-time high?
34 trillion, I think FTV.
Billion
FTV. Yeah.
Trillion.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's not but that means that like you could have bought it at 200 million and would have been fine. You would have made out.
You could have been good, but like think about like you're like the people who got rich on this are the insiders, right? Again, and then there probably are whales, but a whale is considered somebody who has a lot of Solana in their wallet, or these wallets already had a lot of money in.
Yeah, but I'm saying that like you could have put like what $5,000 in at like 200 million and did pretty decent, right? Because like you're talking about what's the X's on that?
I
mean,
mean,
it went to 34.
15, yeah, you probably made like 100x.
Yeah, so $500,000, a regular person, that's a big chunk of change.
Yeah, 100%. Trump-backed World Liberty Financial just bought another 94.94 wrapped Bitcoin worth 9.84 million. This is something we were talking about. How like Coinbase is kind of pushing their CB BTC, and they actually took wrapped Bitcoin down. But World Liberty Financial is actually buying wrapped Bitcoin. But we know that they're buying the wrapped Bitcoin because they want to find yield, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's probably why they want to do it. I don't know why else they would, but like a lot of people posted that, that they're like they don't have to conform to the maxi mentality, and I agree with that 100%. Like Maxi's really, I hope their breed fades off like more and more. Like Ordinals have definitely done some converting over, but like you have to understand that like once this becomes more mainstream, that people that hold a lot of Bitcoin, they want to be able to have that Bitcoin work for them, not just sit there and say, "Hey, I'm going to send 5 Bitcoin to you. Send it back to me. We just lost transaction fees." You know what I mean? Like that. Like what? Obviously, you can sit there and store value. Yeah, I get that. I think that's more the narrative from whenever it launched. Up until a certain point. But once it's like this, we know it's going to constantly go up. In the shorter term, you can also be smart and you leverage your assets to make more, to get more Bitcoin in the end.
Yeah, 100%. And this is why Arch is so important, right? We're going to be talking about that later, but like I just want to get into it now a little bit. Being able to come in and maybe Jeff gets Bitcoin over there, right? Or someone else does. And imagine being able to take your normal Bitcoin and a wrapped version of Bitcoin, lock it up in an LP pool, and then you're earning, right? As long as you trust their wrapping. I mean, you're earning potentially between 11 and 15% yield on normal pairs like Ethereum and wrapped Ethereum. You're sometimes getting between 6 and 9% yield. And if that converts over here to Bitcoin, I mean, someone's gonna be very happy with 9% yield on Bitcoin to Bitcoin trading, and on top of the yield.
And that will go down over time, obviously, as there's more and more people joining in on this, because there will be. But one thing I will say is this: I said Ordinals and the Bitcoin ecosystem's growth the past 2 years have really changed, I think, the perception of building on Bitcoin. And you got to remember, there's multiple stable coins that are in our ecosystem now, and so I do think that we're going to have native yield coming, right, for Bitcoin, to stake your Bitcoin. I mean, you kind of have that in a sense with Babylon already, but it's going to be more like institutional style in the future, I think. And that's whenever, something like World Liberty Financial can actually go more native once that infrastructure is completed.
Yeah, man. And let's actually check out their portfolio now.
Your favorite thing to do. So
I love looking at it.
Can people buy the World Liberty? Because I think that token is going to be like solid in the future, man. Out of everything that Trump's done, like the Trump token's obviously a joke, meme thing, but obviously it's huge market cap. But like this is like a basket of goods, and you're talking about like S&P kind of situation here, and it might be something that, and I actually think that was their mentality, because you can see what they're doing.
Yeah, so a few months ago, you were able to get in the pre-sale. So we know we have a friend who got in, who got some of these tokens, and right now they kind of sold out. Will they be doing another pre-sale? Probably. Or they might just say, hey, let's just do it LP pool. You guys want to get them. But yeah, you're right. I think it's WLFI. That token's going to be a huge token. I don't think it has a market cap yet because it doesn't have an LP pool. But I think when it does, dude, it's going to get listed on every exchange, and holding that's going to give you basically exposure. And that's what the rich people like. They don't like to hold like an asset. They like to hold a basket of assets, right? Something like QQQ or S&P. This is something that they're probably going to hold.
100%, man. And I think it's genius that they started this. The next step, I think, would be really putting good regulations in place to where this is backed even by another layer. The Fed's going to have to come in at some point and just be like, hey, look, man, like we just got to join the party here. And maybe there's another department from them that kind of backs, like, very just like really vetted projects or types of assets, right? And so this would be one, right? And then this thing could actually it will explode if that's the case. Like you're talking about very old money and big money coming in and buying stuff like this, because now they don't have to think. They don't have to think.
Yeah.
You know, they just you don't have to think with Bitcoin, and you don't have to think with World Liberty 5, right? As long as they have those top 100 established blue chips.
Well, you are trusting the Trump organization, right? Because
Sure.
they have USDC in here, so they're planning to trade. They're planning to buy more stuff. As money comes in, they're going to be able to put money around. So it kind of works kind of how like some of the projects on virtuals do. Like it's just like what do you get from holding it, right? So it's kind of like with these investment DAOs or whatever, which is kind of very similar to what that is. Maybe you get to vote in the future. Because right now they hold over 51% of the token, but maybe in the future you get that maybe they put some, hey, we want to buy more Bitcoin and you vote on it, or we want to sell some Bitcoin and you vote on it. That would be pretty big as well.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to do some sort of automated, safe type of thing, though. Was it the Nasdaq that does 1% of, the companies that jump into the top, whatever? The S&P has something similar, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, to where there's like a percentage ownership, because like once you get into like human manual type of, that's tricky, that's risky, and you definitely need a backing or some sort of security net if that's the case, and I think that would turn people away. Now, if it's automated and stuff like that, and it says, we'll consistently add a percentage of the top like 10, and then if you're in the top 50, then we automatically have to own like a percentage of the supply or whatever. You know what I mean? Something like that, to where like these old heads are like not, losing sleep overnight about it.
100%. I completely agree. But it is crazy, some of these assets in here. We got tap $7,000 in tap in here. Do they start liquidating some of these coins? Like I know this Kali coin. I doubt they bought that. Maybe I don't even know what Kali is, but it has a value of $0.00. But they have $218,000 worth of it. USA coin, we know that they have no association with that. That was sent to them. Grok again, 20K there. Do you think they start liquidating this stuff? And if they do, like, do those coins drop heavily?
I don't know if they liquidate them. I'm not even sure if they even know, how to sell some
They
of
know
these.
it's in there. Oh, I'm sure.
No,
I'm sure.
like how to sell tap and stuff like that. But I think that they
tap the
should.
ERC20. You just
Okay.
go to
So I think that they need to do like official, this is what we purchased, right? Because some of this obviously is probably airdropped, right? And they'll have a report, because I think this is going to be set up for like clients, or like, or if Larry Fink does get the digital asset market / the stock market approved in Texas that's going to be built, then this could be a part of that. You know what I mean? And that way people are trying to sell this to their clients through, BlackRock or other entities like that.
100%. The people who want index funds, man, they're gonna eat this thing right up. It's gonna be fun to see. It's gonna be fun to watch. The future is definitely cool in that sense. But let's get into the Bitcoin fear and greed here. Let me bring it up here. So last Thursday, we were sitting at 75. Yesterday, we're in extreme greed, 84, which ended up being terrible for the rest of the day. But that was the beginning of the day. And then today, where do you think we are? My hint for you is we're pretty close where we were last week.
Oh, I forgot what you said last week.
Okay, so last week was 75. Yesterday was 84.
So I'd say 79.
Pretty close. We're at 75, but it's pretty drastic, ain't it? 75, 84, 75. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. Well, we started dumping yesterday, right? That's the thing about this fear and greed. Actually shows you like how volatile like Bitcoin is kind of right now in crypto, right? Because like we were getting really consistent numbers in, what was it, like September, October, I think, and then it started going crazy. But yeah, right now it's really volatile, because 84 to 75, that's definitely a big jump.
Yeah, man. I mean, got Bitcoin sitting at 105,000. Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. All right, let's get into that Bitcoin price action brought to you by BitPerp. BitPerp is going to be the leading leverage trading platform, but guys, they're going to be so much more than that. Their new announcement that's coming up. I know it's taken forever, but we had a meeting with them soon, and they said it'll be soon. They're going to be launching in probably in February on their main net, but their test net's going to launch. It gives you an opportunity, and when it does, you guys are going to want to take advantage of that because it's just paper trading. You'll be connected into Botonics, and you'll be able to use their test net, and you'll be able to earn potentially their token. Whether that's, the BTP token or something else, you're going to be able to earn, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, and you do not lose anything but your time. Guys, check out bitperp.io for more, and definitely follow their Twitter. Keep the bell posted for you guys. Get the notifications as soon as possible, and that's going to be something that you're going to do. But check out bitperp.io.
Yep. And before we get into the Bitcoin price action on the YouTube side, guys, if you could smash that like for us and subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. On the X side, hit that like for us as well. And please share the space so we can educate and onboard as many people as possible to the Bitcoin ecosystem. Let's jump into the price action for Bitcoin. Let's get that screen up here. Okay, so volatility, a lot of it this morning, with the Cynthia Loomis Twitter post kind of teasing possibly the SBR was going to be announced, but that turned out to be her being nominated. By the way, she got the position. So that's some good news there. But as you can see, kind of had this bottoming out, which happened last night, actually. I saw it's kind of just really trying to test that, $100,000 mark again, but then it was well defended again. And this morning we saw some big jump ups, right? So as of right now, the leading indicators on the stochastic RSI on the hour chart is saying, hey, we just got to, overbought. Let's see, about 2.5 hours ago, right? So we haven't been here too long for the hour chart, but it does look like it's starting to kind of like flatten out here. But that doesn't mean anything. It could definitely be, influenced to pop back up. We just got here. Same thing with the MACD. The MACD is looking pretty strong. The leading indicator line on the MACD, the blue line here, is still pointing upwards. So I still feel pretty bullish. I say we kind of range between like maybe 104.5 to 107. I know that's a big range, but with how volatile Bitcoin's been recently, with every anticipation of Trump signing this executive order or talking about this and all these things, it just really kind of sparks really quick. So, but I do see some bullish activity for the rest of today. In terms of the next couple of days, the 4-hour chart looks like it's starting to get out of the sell pressure here on the MACD, which is a good sign, probably from all the bullishness that happened this morning, right? So you can see that blue line also kind of ticking up here on the MACD. We were down in the oversold territory for a while. It looks like last Friday, the 17th. Wow. So we haven't made it back to overbought since then. We tried to go up a couple times, but got rejected. But I do think maybe this is the time, right? A lot of people said, and I keep saying that, finishing the month could be that 115, 120K Bitcoin. And then we see kind of maybe this pullback, and then hopefully alts will start to rev up. Then we'll see, though, nothing's typical about this cycle. So it's kind of, don't know what to expect. But anyways, looking really good, though, for the next couple of days as well. So I think we probably head into the weekend pretty bullish with Bitcoin.
Yeah, man. Do you think we hit an all-time high? We're close to it. We're at 106, right?
Yeah.
Do you think, all-time high now is what, 109?
In the next 7 days, yeah. I don't know if it happens. It could very well happen here in the next couple of days. The setup is good for the 4-hour chart. So if it does, though, get to 110, maybe 115, because we have crossed over our previous all-time high. What was that? On Monday, I think it was this week. Yeah. We hit 109, but that wasn't much of a bump up. Something like 115, 120 feels like, okay, this is a new level. So we could see that.
Yeah, like
if not this weekend, maybe next week.
Yeah, well, next week's a big week too. I forgot to mention it, but next Wednesday is the Fed meeting. We'll have an interest rate cut or pause at 2 p.m. on Wednesday Eastern time, and then at 2:30 we'll have Jerome getting to the stage for the first time with Trump as president. That should be really interesting. So next Wednesday could be a big day, and big for next week as well is there's a lot of big reporting being done by big companies, and there's rumors that some of these companies might come out now that we have a crypto-friendly president come out and say for the first time that they've bought Bitcoin. So yeah, next week will be very big for crypto.
Yeah, I think everybody needs to be paying attention during that Fed meeting because this is the first time since Trump's been president, and we're going to see how much of an effect Jay Powell has on our markets. If he still has that same effect of people really looking deep into, oh, he's hawkish, oh, he's dovish.
Yeah.
I'm like, where'd you get that? But it's somewhere in there, I guess, because the price definitely reflects it. But maybe that isn't as effective anymore. We'll see.
And if he comes out and says something, maybe the market dips, and then Trump comes out and says, we're cutting more rates. The rates are going down. Then it's like, what the hell? Like it's like, what do we do? You know what I mean? If like Trump say we're gonna pause rate cuts, and Trump's like, no, you're not. You're not cutting them. So who knows? We have that to look forward to now. So
yeah, exactly.
But let's get into the roll call here. First on this show. And today's first is first. I know that some people ended up in the graveyard, and I apologize for that. There's nothing I can do. But from what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing Mempool Punk. I got that number 1 spot. So shout out to Mempool Punk. It's your first win. Let me put you in here. Mempool Punk. And I think it's your first win. Make sure. Yep. Congratulations to you, my friend. I'm making a list, guys. I'm checking it twice. I'm going to find out who the winner is. And, we're getting close to the end of the week here. So we will see. But the winner of the week, it looks like it's probably going to be, nobody. It's just all
Chief Axel, right?
Well,
because
he
has
twice.
2. Oh, okay.
Well,
you're just updating the total.
Not this
week,
it. But yeah. He has 2 on the year, and stuff like that. So, but Yasher is still in that number 1 spot. Congratulations to him, still holding tight, holding strong. So, came out hot. But in that number 2 spot, we got Ordinal's tweet says Shizzy wants to save runes. I want to save utility runes. The meme runes can just go away. But that's just my opinion.
They're staying.
Ordinal Sweets is here. Nighthawk UXL is here. Inagi is in the building. Steamy J is here. LFG says Choda, let's go. Bitcoin new all-time high incoming. No is here. Pelpa is here. I Walk Alone says GM. The future is ours. Let's take it. Smash that like button and share. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here every single day. Malam Yuri is here. Here is the best Bitcoin price action. Yes, I agree. I Walk Alone is here. Mice Elf is here. Memes evolve into cults, and cults evolve into religions. AI is a meme ATM. Bitcoin was a meme when nobody cared about it. Bitcoin was never a meme. I think your tweet is total bullshit, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm glad you commented here. Danny Boy says that's why I don't know how people still trade ETH on L1. Yeah, I can't. I don't even know the last time I made a trade on ETH L1.
That's crazy.
Fans here. I know. Do you know where last time you made L1 ETH trade?
I don't even want to think about it because like just the way the feel of it, you know what I mean? But anyways, maybe that's why they're down.
I have one asset that I'm staking over there, and that's really it. But I'm staking it like for a long time. So Mice Elf is here. If Larry Fink says Bitcoin is going to 700K, you better believe he is selling at 200K. What's your take on that?
Ooh, probably. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's going to give, exactly what he thinks out to the public because a lot of them don't. We saw that with Jamie Dimon. Although I do think Jamie Dimon hates Bitcoin, but I don't think he's stupid to where he thinks that like it doesn't have any, value and stuff,
Yeah.
But like, yeah, his team is very efficient. Larry Fink's team is very efficient at making money by trading. And he has a team dedicated for that, right? So I don't know about 200K, but definitely well below 700K is where he'd probably start selling, I would imagine.
I mean, he started buying what 30,000, right? That we know of. Sorry, it was like 30,000. I think was when they announced that they're going to be putting the ETF in, right? So
yeah.
Kala is here, followed by Mark says, "Come on, Trump, pump our bags." Yeah, man. I Walk Alone says, "There it is again. There's nothing I can do, guys." Huh?
He's talking about he's talking about the graveyard thing.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you want me to do? He's like, he did mention
screenshot.
What he wants me to do. He wants me to leave he wants me to open the link as soon as the thing's done and leave it up. He wants me to just leave my computer on for 24/7. Like, what do you want me to do? I don't know.
Well, do you shut down?
I shut my computer down. So, yeah, every time I leave my computer, I always shut it down, just in case for hackers or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I actually turn off my Wi-Fi too. but I'm probably weird. But Danny Boy's here, Happy Homer is here, and then WebDro finishing it up. And then James C says Yagobi. So we got a fan in there. Shout out to you guys, man.
Shout out
Yeah,
to
let's
James
kind of get
B.
into the first thing here. Mscribe, we heard the community looking for additional wallet support, and we've just pushed support for Tap Protocol Wallet and Phantom Wallet. So I knew that they were going to do Phantom Tap Protocol, but I didn't know Phantom was something people were pushing for. Is this a big difference, do you think, for Mscribe?
I like it. As many protocols that integrate, Phantom, MetaMask once it's ready, these heavy user-based wallets is good for us. These are the little nuanced details that, like, whenever people are complaining about our ecosystem, that they don't ever talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is big. Like, that Phantom has opened up, and I know that was like last October, I think, when they announced that, close to Halloween, I think. But like, we want as many like other like high volume ecosystems to port into Bitcoin's ecosystem. We want that. So
yeah, no, 100%. I agree. We do. We want every wallet to be able to access here, because what that's going to do, that's going to allow anybody and everyone to just switch it over and then play, add some Bitcoin, and then you're good to go. You don't need to do much more. But opening a new wallet, people don't do that. People don't write down new seed phrases. It's very rare. I like doing it because I like having many wallets with many different seed phrases. I just feel that sense of security for me, where if one wallet gets hacked, it's a bad day and not a bad year. That's just kind of my motto, right? That's why I like to have a lot of assets and a lot of different wallets. But some people don't. Some people would like to just have that one wallet that you can access Solana with, Ethereum with, Bitcoin with, and you're getting that with especially with the Phantom wallet.
yeah, Phantom, Magic Eden, the wallets that really integrate the major players are gonna, have the most users, right? Because you don't want to leave your wallet for another one and all that stuff, right? So Magic Eden's doing it, Phantom's doing it, and Xverse is gonna start doing it. I can feel it. Like, I think they did something with like cross chain swaps or something recently. So we'll start to see that, I believe, from them as well.
Yeah, you can now. I think it's swapped to Ethereum and stuff using Xverse. So they're probably going to be doing that as well. This is a tweet from Trevor. He says, "There's nothing fundamentally wrong with Runes. It's a new protocol, so there's no sex integrations, and therefore liquidity is low. This will quickly change." And I agree with him 100%. Like, Runes is still a very young protocol, but I think the sex listing isn't there because the volume's just not there. But what do you think?
No, that's not. I think that Dog has the volume. Actually, for the way that we're trading over here, for Dog to have that volume is impressive. I know some of it is centralized exchange stuff, like the smaller ones. I think Gate has them. I think Mexi has them. But I do think it's more of like, okay, so like if you launch a token on Solana and it does well to the point to where it's going to get listed. Coinbase, Binance have no problem because they have listed so many Solana tokens. They know how the system works perfectly, and they know if there's a problem, where to go to, who to go to exactly, right? Like, hey, like Solana Foundation. Same thing with Ethereum. Like, there's an issue here. Their engineers are like proficient in it. That's probably another thing too, is they want to make sure they have engineers at their place that's proficient with like how the Runes indexer works and all that stuff, right? So I've been kind of seeing some posts of people saying that Binance and some of these other major exchanges have been constantly transferring back and forth since June of 2024 Runes, and to them, it's testing. They're constantly testing. Maybe they have their engineering team looking at it, and they want to feel so confident to where there's like no issue at all. Now, people can say, well, what about BRC20? I think Binance had an edge with BRC20 because they worked directly with Unisat, which created the main indexer that everybody used. Well, not everybody used, but like Unisat used, and they had the most volume, and OKX, I think, used that same one. So I think that's where that advantage was. With Runes, it was created by Casey and Raf and the Ordinals team, right? So I think they're just want to make sure that this is a solid point of resource, source, I guess. And so that's why once they feel confident at that point is when I think they'll list them.
Yeah, I agree. But like, do you remember when Ordi and Sats were listed? Their trading volume was absolutely insane. I mean,
Yeah.
they were doing way higher numbers than Dog and Puff,
Yeah,
somebody
because
like
they were
that are.
listed.
Yeah, and there was well no, before they were listed. The reason why they were listed because they yeah, I remember going to Unisat and it was just constantly just being bought and bought and bought. Sometimes if you list a dog, sometimes it sits there for like an hour. Like if I list a dog on the floor, it can sit there sometimes for like 30, 40 minutes before it gets balled up. I don't remember that with Ordi and something like
I
now,
do.
yeah, but like
I do. I
when
do a
right before
couple
they got
rare.
listed, I don't
I,
remember.
I remember a couple rare moments in between, but you're right. For the most part, it was pretty consistent. Um, but again, though, I think we had two different, like at that point, like the East and the West were kind of joined in this BRC
Yeah.
degeneracy. As of right now, I feel like it's more West with a little bit of East, right? And does that change? I think it changes once the centralized exchanges come and say, "Hey, we're going to buy you, or pick you up or add you to the exchanges." But yeah, I mean, look, there's no denying that Dog has been extremely impactful. Like their community is big, you can see it, and then also their market cap has touched pretty much 1 billion twice. Right now, it
Yeah.
has pulled back. It has pulled back to the mid, 500 million mark, but I do think Trevor's right here. And out of everybody, that has insight into what these entities are probably thinking, I would think that BTC Startup Lab and Trevor, they are close. Like Frontier, fund or whatever, in the Startup Lab, I feel like they probably have a lot of know of what's going on behind the scenes. That's my assumption, obviously, but I just feel like if anything wants to get pushed like really strong marketing wise, narrative wise, it's backed by those guys.
Yeah. But the thing is too is I just see if your only hope is an exchange listing, like there's I mean that's what meme coins are, right? That's is their only hope is exchange listings and being able to be traded on exchanges and stuff like that. I don't know, man. I don't see a future in that. Like what like people like to speculate, right? What happens when they already get listed? Like what happens then?
Well, I don't think that that's the only hope. The Arch Network. I actually posted about like all these different tech stacks and chains that are really wanting to court runes. They want to service runes. Whether that is because they want a bigger community for Near, or they want a bigger community for Cardano, or what. It doesn't matter what the reason is. They want to service runes as an asset class. So there's going to be different protocols that approach this, and we already have Stacks that's doing it. You have Merlin that's doing a little bit, and then you have the future that's coming with like the centralized dexes and stuff, but really it's the networks like Arch Network. I don't know if Newbit's gonna incorporate runes, but that seems to be a part of their plan as well. So there's like a bunch of people that are trying to court runes. Let's see like what comes out of that, because I think there's definitely more hope than just centralized exchange.
I hope so, but like even with an LP pool, right? Like just trading your dog for your cat. I mean, over and over, back and forth. I mean, there's still nothing there. There's no utility in these tokens. I do think some runes will make it. I think those runes are going to be looked at as pioneers in the space of people who are trying to change the game. People who are trying to have more than just a silly little game. I think we're going to have runes with actual utility come with visionaries behind them trying to change decentralized finance for the better.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think that's going to happen, and I think there will be probably less memes once there is an infrastructure to where it's seamless and the experience is pleasant. You probably won't see them launching every day like you do on Luminex now and the other etching platforms, but I do think like these meme communities is kind of all the fungibles have over here right now, other than Liquidium and a couple fluids going to come out with their token, and the utilities come in. You just got to be a little patient, because the people that are launching their utility runes token, they also want to see like a bit of energy kind of injected
Yeah.
into our space as well, right? So you got to be a little bit patient for that. But I think like the real community like tokens, like the $1 billion cats, the dog go to the moons, the pups, the Cypher Genesis, which is kind of hybrid because it's cool because the AI behind it, the gizmos, those will do well, I believe. And I'm gonna actually get some WD-40 because this is the like 7th comment I've seen in the past like 2 weeks. Lube that chair. I know my chair is so squeaky. Sorry guys. I will get some WD-40 for that. But that is my take on that.
Lube the chair. What is going on? What is going on? The last thing here before we get into Arch Thursdays was Merlin Chain update. So Merlin just launched this thing here and this tweet, and they said they're actually upgrading from fork 8 to fork 9 of Polygon, which is going to allow, it's going to be faster, it's going to be quicker, and the ZK proofs interface as well. What do you think about this?
It's great. They're constantly trying to upgrade for better efficiency and performance. And we talk about like these Bitcoin layer 2s and then these scaling solutions that are working natively with Bitcoin as well, like Arch, almost kind of like a hybrid 1.5, whatever you want to call it. I think they're going to work together. The ones that survive on the L2 side are going to work together with like that's the perfect way to have a trustless bridge, right? By using their tech and stuff like that. So, but that's whenever there's liquidity for that to flow around, right? So I think that, they're constantly updating their chain. They're trying to get the latest type of narratives on the chain, and they're working hard. So shout out to Jeff and his team.
Yeah, like they could stop on fork 8, right? They don't really need to upgrade, but they're doing it to make sure the chain is up to par for sure. So good for Jeff, good for Merlin, and it's one of the few L2s that are really progressing, right? Like one of the few ones that I actually look forward to actually using and stuff like that, because there's a lot of L2s but making a lot of promises, but we'll see if they can even just do what Merlin's doing now. So
yeah, definitely, that's a good point.
Yep. Do we have Arch guys yet?
Yeah, I see Vult Fi is down there. Actually, probably start with them if you want.
Try to do the Arch team first, kind of getting updates from them, but we could. There we go.
Oh, there's Nick.
All right, let's bring them up.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Every Thursday around 12 o'clock, we like to do a little segment called Arch Thursdays. It's kind of bring you guys the latest updates from the team and the builders. And we're doing this just because we want to make sure that you guys are all caught up and understanding the big thing that Arch is bringing. They're taking Solana, the fast-paced SVM type model, they're putting it on Bitcoin, and then they're rolling it up and putting it on the Bitcoin block for like finality, right? So we're gonna have the security of Bitcoin with Solana's fast-paced insanity. And right now you do have swaps on Bitcoin now that use different things, but there's still 10 minutes. Arch is going to solve that for us, where we could trading like Solana, and I think it's going to bring you giant utility and giant projects to build over here. Really excited with that. And on that note, let's bring up Nick from Arch. Nick, welcome back to Ordinal Revolution.
Hey, good guys. Shizzy, what a great warm up there. I feel like a boxer entering the ring. I've got my hype man here. We're ready here. So,
bro, yeah. I don't think you understand how much I'm depending on you guys right now. Like I'm so bored with our market. We have a business in this we're Ordinal Revolution, right? It's very boring. Every morning we do a live show, and every day I go to find news. It is the most hardest time for me in the last year and a half of doing this. But I'm looking forward to Arch. I'm looking forward to the projects they're building on you guys. Do not fail me, Nick. Do not fail.
Oh, no pressure there, right? No pressure from Disney.
I, having been a journalist in the past, a Washington, D.C. correspondent, and also, done everything from working at small newspapers. I remember those days, man, where you're like just scrounging under the trash, trying to find a story, waiting for a phone call from some local person. Just, I saw Jesus in a tree, come see it, it was some rough, lean times. But so I totally understand your need for content. And thankfully, Arch as always stands to deliver. So first of all, love everything you just said. Great description of it. I think at the heart of it all, right, we're building something for Bitcoin that's going to allow the full programmability, the actual smart contracts, and not just it's like all these projects, you see some mad protocols emerging, you see some, we're building off RUNES and things like that. And that's great. Like, we want more infrastructure, we want more systems in place, but anyone that doesn't account for speed is not going to actually be able to take advantage of DeFi, right? It's just not going to happen, because if you don't have interoperable smart contracts where like apps can work with each other and like pull liquidity from this source to fund this source. And last week we had Cha-Ching on here, and that's like the Aave for Bitcoin essentially. And, like that's how you create this deep liquidity where, there's the ability for us to actually do some really fun stuff on Bitcoin and on the network. And there's one thing too, you mentioned about being able to take those speeds, but still settle on Bitcoin. And, there have been some things that look, like I'm not from a pure technical background. I'm from a marketing journalism background. So I'm still learning, even having written our white paper, right? But one thing that I think is a clear distinction, it's super interesting and maybe wasn't always clear. So I want to share this on the show and maybe we have a good chat about it. It's a little wonky, it's a little nerdy, but when you look at stacks or you look at these L2s, what they're doing is they are essentially, one block on stacks is one block settled on Bitcoin, taking a snapshot, if you will, of the network and posting it, those results on Bitcoin essentially. What we're actually doing that's really cool is on a more atomic level, you can post individual transactions and smart contract results, right? The results of the smart contracts on Bitcoin. And I don't know if people kind of understand like how big of a difference that is, but like, on stacks, you'd have to like roll back the entire network and, do all these things and you would have to change everything, right? With us, you can just do it on specific smart contract results. So different apps, different developers can build projects on Arch. This is where we talk about like that flexibility that developers get to create apps where maybe you settle back to Bitcoin with every transaction, right? Saturn, for instance, you can speed up and go ahead, but at the end of the day, every 10 minutes, you're getting like that update on Bitcoin, right? And settling on there. So you're getting both speed and Bitcoin settlement at the same time, right? But, there are going to be other projects that say, let's settle back to Bitcoin a little bit less to have a different UX experience and to have maybe faster transactions while processing through the Arch verifier network. And that's also going to be a viable option. And so having that flexibility as a developer means that you can create apps and use cases that just aren't possible elsewhere. So I thought that was pretty cool how you can basically capture state and post it and anchor it on Bitcoin on a transaction basis or on a specific, the results of a smart contract basis, rather than having to kind of like snapshot the entire network each time. Was that cool or was that nerdy? I don't know. Maybe I think things are cool.
Both. Yeah. No. So I love that. You guys can post the results of a smart contract on Bitcoin, and I imagine your indexer will read Bitcoin and see the results, and then if there's any action that needs to happen, it will take action at that point. Is that how your indexer will work?
It's actually, I don't know if it's an indexer so much as it is like how our VM is constructed. So our VM is actually a UTXO based VM, kind of taking a Solana style, but, applying as a global state machine for Bitcoin and then being able to translate into UTXO assets. I don't know if it's an indexer or if it would be just the fact that we anchor every transaction back to Bitcoin as unconfirmed transactions. So we're just always aware, we're always connected to Bitcoin state.
Gotcha. Yeah. Love that. Okay, so I want to kind of take a step back here because that was very nerdy but cool and definitely informative for the audience. Let's take a step back for the past, I would say, like 2-3 days, right? And you're obviously really busy, but I'm sure that you're peeking in on the timeline. And we've seen a lot of people that are like upset with the performance of RUNES, and ordinals aren't like thriving, and it's almost kind of like they're like, oh, I want to give up kind of mentality, which I hate that mentality, but it is what it is. So what can you do to make these guys not cry? What can you say in terms of Arch?
Look, I think people understand the promise of what, Arch can bring here and what the Arch apps, Saturn, FunkyBit, all these great things can bring. And so all we can do is keep showing them, especially in these test nets. Cha-Ching, went live last week with some of their features. Pretty confident that the borrow lend feature is going to start being live next week or so. So people are going to be able to test and see these things. we're in a race against time too, because I think we're all aware that we're in a bull market now, and that, Bitcoin's doing great, and you're seeing stuff like Trump coin go to 60 billion or whatever. And so like you do understand, and I think our team understands that there's a lot of urgency here. And that's actually where, just to give you a peek internally, we're actually, hiring up a lot right now. We're adding a lot of roles. By the way, if anyone's listening and you're a great Rust engineer, or if you have any background in Solana or Bitcoin, we want to talk to you, whether or not it's for an internal role on our team or by placing you in some of the projects. Like, there's a little plug, but we're definitely upgrading engineering talent. We're upgrading our marketing. We're getting ready to build out, partly because we've got some exciting things to announce in the next few weeks, and when we're ready to announce it, we will. But let's just say that we have the capacity to build out now. So, to give people hope, look, I'm in the same boat as you. I aped in hard, and I aped in right at the Pico top, November, early December. Put a significant amount of my savings into pups, actually, big pups holder, as well as BDC. And I'm down bad. I'll be honest. I am counting on Arch as well as anyone else to pump Runes bags. But I do think that there's hope, because look, a lot of these, it's like, when it happens, and this is true of the crypto market in general, but it's going to be especially true of Runes. It's going to be like how you don't see anything, like no trickle of water on the other side of a dam for a very long time. And it's just like a little spigot, and you start to see that little spray, and you're like, okay, like something is coming. And when it breaks, it floods, right? And what we're seeing right now, and I've seen people post about this, but like the floor on, take like 2 Bitcoin or something, or 1 Bitcoin to get us like to a 4x on pups, right? I think it's 2 Bitcoin for a 4x on pups from where it is right now, right? So there's like, you got to understand that, like, yes, it's tricky right now, but like, if we can get some of this infrastructure in place to help eliminate some of those floored bricks, if you can get some of the hype around Bitcoin again, and in crypto in general, right? Which I think we're in that point in the cycle where there's that natural January lull. I think that there's a really good chance here, but I'm not going to pretend like it's not, scary out there in the Rune streets. But look, we've made a big bet on the Runes ecosystem being something that people want, and I will say this: it's not just us. There are major projects behind us, which we can announce in the next few weeks. But so major players who are betting on this ecosystem. So, and if they believe, they're not going to let their bags die either, right? So.
Yep, exactly. And one of the biggest problems is liquidity issue, right? So do you think that, one of the things I like seeing right now is that there's, as of right now, 2 DEXs that are building with you guys, and one is an DEX aggregator, so I count that as well. Do you think that that's going to solve the liquidity issue? The fact that you guys are going to have 3 that are building and launching on Arch, and maybe more?
Yes, absolutely. I think that having more DEXs, more people out there who are trying to bring capital in and, building, brokering those relationships. I think it's also just like an easier sell to institutional, right? So institutional investors feel like they totally missed out last time, right? They totally dropped the ball. And then many of them saw crypto die, quote unquote, die the last 2 or 3 years, and felt like, okay, maybe I shouldn't get in. And they're feeling the same FOMO that some of us who didn't, like, if you didn't fully invest in Bitcoin in the last 3 years, like, they're feeling the same FOMO as a retail person, but they're playing with millions of dollars. And what you're seeing this cycle, and I've been in these conversations with major institutional investors who are actually looking to deploy their Bitcoin, they're much more interested now. And what's different this cycle too, though, is that, we have the opportunity for a much simpler narrative. So, before it was like, okay, if you want to deploy institutionally, you really got to go to Ethereum, right? And then it became, okay, well, like Stacks has like SBTC, like maybe you can do that, right? But like, part of the appeal and what's exciting about Arch, and like, people want to like be like, oh, is it a bridge? Is it not bridge? It's like, what's exciting about it is that, like, you're not playing with some weird derivative product. Like, it's not SBTC, it's not WBTC, it's not whatever acronym you want to throw in front of BTC. It's just Bitcoin. It's native Bitcoin. It's native Runes. It's native UTXO assets. And that is a much easier pitch to institutional investors and into new retail, because they're like, wait a second, I thought I was just going to invest my Bitcoin. I thought I was going to buy Bitcoin and get yield on it, right? Like I was going to get some interest on it, right? So where it flows from here, like people forget this, but there's still so much of the world that is still not playing with crypto. And when they do start playing with crypto, the first question they're going to ask is, okay, what can I do? Like I heard about Bitcoin, right? Then the second one is, okay, well, I heard about Ethereum. Well, if you can offer on Bitcoin everything that Ethereum does and do it better with better speeds and with the asset that they actually recognize, then they will just do it on Bitcoin. And that's, I think, the key that people have to understand. So that's what's different this cycle, and why people are excited about the Bitcoin ecosystem is like 90% of the world like only has heard of Bitcoin. And now you're going to give them the option to actually do fun stuff like instant loans through Cha-Ching. Obviously all the yield options and ways to get interest on like Saturn and on Bitflow and things like that. But that's really the opportunity here. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, I agree, 100%. I kind of want to get into Arch a little bit, if you don't mind. How's testnet going? And is there any updates from the last 7 to 8 days?
Yeah, testnet's going well. There are some updates that we're going to be majorly publishing, from our infrastructure that will affect our projects. Things like, fully perfecting the rollback mechanism, which is obviously important because a lot of what allows us to do the speed aspects while still being anchored in Bitcoin is the ability to kind of like start working on stuff and then roll it back if for some reason it doesn't actually match Bitcoin state, right? And that's something that other projects can't really say. So especially L2s can't say that. So that's one thing that there's just some quirks. This is like really frontier technology that we're doing. So publishing that update pretty soon here, hopefully next week, we'll see. Some little stuff along with that update. So for the developers building on us, that will be important. Otherwise, it's really just like you see people starting to really recognize what all can be done when you add programming with Bitcoin. So like there's a pretty big launch last week. Some of you guys may have seen it of Satoshi, which will be one of the guests we have today, I believe, Mark. Their launch is a perfect example because they've essentially taken like the AI launchpad model similar to like a virtuals on Base, and they're bringing it to Bitcoin. Super bullish on that. We're partners of theirs. They're going to be building and using our infrastructure in order to tap greater liquidity and do things like that. So I think like in terms of updates, I would just say there's definitely stuff brewing behind the scenes, but like the big ones is just like we've just been rolling out partnerships like crazy because everyone wants to work with us and we want to work with them and create that really exciting, vibrant app ecosystem on Bitcoin.
Love it.
Amen.
Let me ask you something, Shizzy. Like if I say something along the lines of like, Arch is eventually going to be the global state machine for Bitcoin. What does that mean for you? Like, does that resonate with you? Does that say something to you?
So to me, a global state machine would be the number one place you would go, right? So when you're using Bitcoin, you're no longer using just your L1, stuff. Everything basically comes to Arch. That's what I get from that. Mm-hmm. There's no one left that's not building. When you're talking about doing stuff on Bitcoin, you're talking about doing stuff on Arch. Would that be considered a global state machine? I mean, that to me would be it. I mean, you don't even say the word Arch anymore. You say I'm on Bitcoin.
Well, right. And so that's actually where we want to be, obviously. I'm very clear on our messaging because it's true, which is that, we're building apps for Bitcoin using Arch, right? Like, or on Bitcoin using Arch, right? So like all our projects, when we do our project announcements, you'll see on the blog, like I never say like, Arch introduces new DEX. It's like, no, like this is a new AMM swaps on Bitcoin. And like they're using Arch to get there, right? So yeah, that would be the idea is that now, you still have that same like trust dependent model where like some execution can be done totally trustlessly on Bitcoin, but it is almost the app layer for Bitcoin in that sense. It's where any programmability actually happens. I was also wondering if that would pique any like Solana like vibes for you, because that's how Solana describes themselves, right? As the global state machine.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that would be. I mean, when you're trading on Ethereum, you don't say, "Oh, I'm trading on a ZK," or when you're using an L2, you don't say, "I'm trading on ZK." You say, "I'm trading here. I'm trading on Ethereum." Even a lot of people who do trade on Base, they still say, "I'm using Ethereum," just because of the fact they don't really, they don't understand how crypto works, and there's no reason for them to understand it. And that would be the mission of Arch when people don't even like recognize you guys as that, but you guys are just there doing your thing.
I think that's exactly right. Trying to do that from a branding or messaging standpoint is a little tricky, obviously, but that's something we've got to figure out, because at the end of the day, all we care is that people are doing stuff on Bitcoin that wasn't possible before, and doing it in a fast performant way that makes it actually usable and be able to tap the vast potential Bitcoin has, right? So yeah, we're all about building on Bitcoin. And, you know, I think developers and like people who like are building the apps, if they want to like know that like Arch is like the tool for getting there, then that's really where we have to get in a messaging standpoint, which is like Bitcoin is I always think of it as like Bitcoin is the base layer, like we're just where the apps live, right? Or like we're just where the programmability lives, and that's exactly where we're going.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of annoying actually at this point whenever you have the maxis that talk about minimal trust assumptions and it's still a problem with them. I'm like, what the hell do you want me to do? Like you want me to go and upgrade the chain? Like we can't do it. This is the best we got. You got to like accept something or just go and play checkers with your assets on Bitcoin layer 1, right? Like, so that part gets really frustrating to me, because I see a comment in the chat and it's just really frustrating, because like that's the problem, is like there's this like almost unwelcoming sense of like innovation, right? For people that are trying to innovate on Bitcoin, and like we're like, okay, bro, I've got as close as I can to what you want, but you're like, nah, I don't want it. You know what I mean? And then you complain because like the assets aren't going up in value because of no liquidity.
You know, I want to say there.
Sorry. I had to do that.
No, I actually love this conversation because it's a great point. And here's going to be my argument, that if there are any like true, just like pure Bitcoin maxis, they're probably not watching this show because they probably hate ordinals too. But like, you know, don't fuck with my sats, whatever. But like, if you want to think about it from a big game theory perspective, or just a big picture, bigger view standpoint, two things. One, as Bitcoin continues to have, the rewards for miners will keep going down. And eventually there's a question of like, how will they actually be rewarded in a way that incentivizes them to keep doing this, right? And if you don't have the Bitcoin miners, if you don't have some sort of, you know, verification, validation, right, you don't have Bitcoin. So first of all, there's that, right? So like this actually gins up Bitcoin activity, which in turn rewards the miners more. And so there's benefits there too, right? But secondly, the coolest thing about this is that look at the alternatives for programming on Bitcoin. Let's say they're a Bitcoin maxi who like somehow like supports OpCat though. Like they want this big soft fork of Bitcoin because it'll be more like true to the base layer, because it'll all be on Bitcoin, right? But then it'll be like this new soft forked Bitcoin, right? Okay, well, you're like seriously risking the state of the entire chain. I mean, this is like a huge decision to make, and that's why it's been so hard to actually make happen, right? It's something that could put to risk Bitcoin itself. Now, if you're risk averse like that, then something like Arch is interesting, because this thing is, you never as an individual have to take more risk. If you want to be the Bitcoin maxi and just be like, I'm just going to hold my Bitcoin, I'm not going to do anything with it, no programmability, your Bitcoin is safe. We're not touching it. There's nothing that's happening through us can compromise that, right? In addition to that, though, all these people who do want some sort of Bitcoin programmability, like Bitcoin yield and these institutional investors who want to put their money on Bitcoin, things like that, right? Like they're going to do that. And you over here are going to benefit from that because of the increased mining activity and because of the fact that it draws even more attention to Bitcoin's value additionally, right? So we can onboard all these people into Bitcoin to do this stuff, and you can keep your bag safe. And having more programmability here through this, like, you know, upgrade and unlock doesn't actually change the core chain. And I don't know, like, if people realize that, or if they just don't care, or I don't know, but that seems way more preferable than any, you know, I get not wanting L2s because L2s take that liquidity and just like throw it off. But like, you know, if you're anchored in Bitcoin, you're doing what we're doing, it should be mostly just like a net gain for someone who's a maxi as well.
Yeah. Well, if the trust minimized bridging does get better, then the L2s can kind of give back, I guess, to the miners. But to your point, though, like the OpCat upgrade is not going to make the experience much better at all. Like if I'm swapping, I got to wait 10 minutes, and I probably got to do 3.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I got to wait.
OpCat, yeah.
And I probably got to do 3 transactions. So, you know what I mean? So that's my point. And rant over with, because we got some of builders down below. We want to make sure we get them up. And one of the hot new projects in the entire crypto space is Satoshi AI. And we have Mark from Satoshi AI that's building on Arch. So let's bring him up. Mark, how are you doing, sir?
Good, good. It's early morning over here in New Zealand. Good to see you all. How's things?
Good. Thanks for joining us. So, could you kind of give an intro to the audience, because this is the first time kind of that we've seen you, have an intro to the Bitcoin ecosystem community. So, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and what your project is and what it's bringing to Bitcoin.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So my name's Mark Tulloch. I'm the CEO of Bitcoin DAI. So my background started full-time Web3 in 2021, and I launched the world's first veteran NFT community that evolved into the world's first veteran DAO. And yeah, we sold out a few projects over there on Ethereum, but then pivoted over to Bitcoin a while back. We put out a rune token. We actually put out a fractal ordinal, and we got the first Cat 721 NFTs to market as well. But over there, I'm still an advisor for that DAO, and we've actually got an ordinals collection coming at the moment. But what I decided to do was, I guess, hand in my CEO cap and go to the Bitcoin Startup Lab, like a lot of the projects. We literally just wrapped up there, and yeah, that was where the idea for Satoshi evolved, which comes under the Bitcoin DAI banner. I'll go a bit into Satoshi. So Satoshi is very much V0 of what we're building. There's two distinct stages. So Satoshi, we launched a Satoshi on Virtuals token. Prior to that, we'd already launched our own. I think what's a little bit different to us, we're seeing, a few projects pop up, but we've already built our own terminal. So we built an XAI agent, which we got running on the Satoshi agent account. And then, really the core product that we're building at the moment is a language model which is focused around Bitcoin native assets. So Bitcoin, as well as all of the meta protocols, L1 and L2. And it's very much a market insights tool, but also portfolio management. So that's V0. Then as that's perfecting and the language model is evolving, VB is then where we're setting up the tokenized marketplace for Bitcoin AI agents. What that will allow, I guess, existing projects, new projects, existing, tokens, etc., is to onboard onto the marketplace and add these two tools. So the portfolio management market insights, which is aggregating everything within the Bitcoin native eco, as well as an XAI agent to add those to their value proposition. That's very much what we're building at the moment.
Love it. So, so I know that you guys launched your initial kind of presence was through virtuals. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's been a roller coaster. Oh my God. Yeah. We got subjected to, I guess, a bit of the degeneracy over on base, but it's all right. We're riding the storm. It's been pretty interesting being over on virtuals, which was an interesting experience. We sort of hit like pretty high heights, and then our market caps come down, but the team's just as soon as we went live, we've just been building nonstop. I think there's quite a lot of anticipation around the tool, and when the tool comes to market, I think we'll see that. Well, I don't think I know, because I mean, much like AI XBT, we'll set a token holdings to be able to access the terminal. And it will be, it'll be kick-ass. I think our secret weapon that we've got behind us is we have over here in New Zealand, a friend of mine, Trong. So he's a multi-agent AI PhD. So we're, really able to, build exceptional technology around the indexing of all of the data, both historical data for all of Bitcoin, all of Ordinals, all of RUNES, all of BRC20, then plus, you know, tapping into live feeds as well of new data. So it's, I think there's, you know, there's always a lot of evolution happening in Bitcoin. We expect to see other projects having a go at it, but yeah, we've got a lot of firepower in our team.
Yeah, man, it definitely seems that way. You guys are cooking. I do love how you got the virtuals with the agent. You guys kind of letting that, but you're also building on Arch. Could you talk about that a little bit? What exactly you guys are building on Arch?
Yeah. So that will be where the tokenized marketplace layer 1 will be built. I think, you know, it's interesting because, I mean, for people who go through the Bitcoin Startup Lab, you get a lot of introductions to, I guess, pretty much like every one of the major protocols in Bitcoin. It was quite interesting that, you know, the evolution of our project. Originally, we were looking to build a generative coding tool for all of the Bitcoin eco. So we went around and had conversations, secured LOIs with all of the, you know, the different standards, and through that and turning their SDKs and documentation into generative code, we really got a good understanding of, you know, where each team was at, and also not just the technical side, but then also, you know, the leadership side and their go-to-market strategies and BD and whatnot. So yeah, I have a huge amount of respect for Matt and Amin and what they're doing over there. So yeah, we're putting our L1 eggs in the Arch basket. I think the technology that they're building is, you know, super exciting with high throughput, and it will definitely assist people who are, you know, working through our terminal as we build out more the portfolio management aspect of the terminal. So market insights, bringing in data is, you know, it's kind of more Web 2. You know, it's not doesn't necessarily rely on the blockchain, but when you start to implement portfolio management and doing transactions through AI agents, then having that ability to, you know, do high throughput for layer 1 and more transactions, I think that becomes very important. So yeah, we're excited to work with them. We're working closely with the Arch team at the moment, so it's brilliant.
So Arch is pretty much, in your opinion, like the best network kind of environment to create something similar to virtuals, because that's what you guys are going to create, right? To where you have like a framework or people can launch their own agents off of your protocol, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So, you know, like two examples, you either bring an existing community. So, you know, for example, like Pizza Pets might want to add agentic capability to their community so they could onboard, or someone new. So it really is, it's very early, right? Because not many are on mainnet. So therefore you have to start looking at the tech. I think, you know, their SVM approach, you know, of working from that side, and then also it's not just that, it's also the relationships and the go to market. It's equally as important, you know, like how are you going to get the most impact, because it's such an obvious idea. I guess we were first to bring the idea, but it's such an obvious idea and gap for Bitcoin that you've got to be very strategic around it. But we're also looking at layer 2 as well, you know, so we have to work across both. I think the whole purpose of the tool is to aggregate, you know, everything across the Bitcoin ecosystem so that we can, you know, bring in, whether you're an Ordinals fiend or whether you're like into RUNES, or now we're into BRC still, you know, or even alkanes that are coming, you know, so whatever you're into, or you're just a layer 2 guy, you want to be over here, you've bridged everything over. I think one of my frustrations and then is, you know, that a lot of things are siloed. So, and I think going back to Arch, I think, you know, they have that sort of mindset as well. You know, how can we aggregate a lot of, you know, a lot of these platforms into one place. So that's very much our approach is, okay, yeah, we're basing the technology here on Arch, but we want to be an aggregator for the tool so that we can bring everything together and just really make that a awesome user experience for people who are involved in the, you know, Bitcoin native eco.
Yeah, 100%. And the main thing is with our space here is crypto is you want people to be able to use the stuff without knowing what chain they're on. That's always kind of been the number one thesis of anyone who you talk to. It's just I don't care what chain I'm on. I just want to get this asset, and that's kind of what your agent is goal is, right? It's essentially have anyone do anything. Take your Bitcoin and go to ETH, but you don't even know. You don't even need to know that you want to ETH. You just want the asset that you want to get into, or the liquidity pool, or the leverage platform you want to use, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It does seem like very fragmented, and everyone's just building in silos. I guess because the tech's so new. Yeah. So, I mean, for me, even as a user, you know, as these different technologies evolve, yeah, I really want to have one place. I mean, you know, like you just got like 8 tabs open. You've got, you know, as things are happening, and then also I think it's really important to be. It can get quite confusing when you're benchmarking against, you know, other things. Like, you know, we all remember when Fractal came out, and really you're just relying on sentiment within, you know, the market of just what people are saying in spaces, but it's very hard to benchmark everything against, you know, other protocols and see what really is like worth putting your liquidity into. So using AI to, you know, help through that journey is, I think it's going to be very powerful. The terminal will be extremely powerful, and putting us on you know, an equal footing with, you know, Base, well, who have virtuals, and then you've got Eliza, you know, so we really need this technology over in Bitcoin.
Yeah, I agree. But you know, it's funny. I think you hit the nail on the head about like having a hard time to see progress with different tech stacks of like L2s or just scaling solutions. They're all a basket of scaling solutions. But I do think that there's going to be a couple of winners in each kind of category, right? A couple of winners from the Bitcoin L2, a couple of winners from this TEE kind of environment with like Arch and, you know, Nubits building something. And once those are figured out, then I think things can be way more cohesive, and we'll probably see that in the next 6 to 12 months, I'm hoping. But I see Bitcoin Startup Lab in the background there. Could you talk a little bit about like what your experience has been with working through the Bitcoin Startup Lab?
Yeah, it was that absolutely. Yeah, it was pretty grueling, particularly for me. It was like a 4 a.m. get up every day, so and I didn't miss a class, so it was like 4 a.m. to around, I mean, about 3 hours of you know, going through lessons. So the lessons was very, you know, Albert was there doing, you know, a lot of it, but also I think you end up having around 100 speakers coming in. So, and then it's just like a massive dump of information about everything that's happening in, you know, the Bitcoin ecosystem. From there, you've got, you know, daily tasks and basically, you know, markers that you need to meet every single day to stay on the program. So yeah, the attrition rate is pretty high. I think we started with maybe 80 and ended up with about 26 projects. Wow. And yeah, it's quite confronting. It's quite a confronting program, but very good because you're, you know, whatever idea you have will get, you know, pulled apart through, you know, Albert has quite a scientific process for analyzing whether an idea is actually a good idea. So, you know, most of us who have like really cool ideas in Bitcoin haven't put our ideas through like a scientific approach to discovering whether, okay, is there actually a market for this? Is there product market fit? And, you know, even our project, we pivoted, you know, around halfway through from generative coding over to, which was being built basically with AI agents. So we didn't lose anything in that. We'd already created all those LLMs, but yeah, it is very confronting. And at the same time, the challenge of really distilling and condensing everything down into a 90-second pitch on the final day. So trying to convey what you're doing in 90 seconds, it's extremely challenging. It was a 100-word pitch and distilling it all down. But no, I would recommend it to any builder in the ecosystem to sign up for the Bitcoin Startup Lab. I mean, going through the process with your startup is one thing, but as a lot of funders find out as they're trying to build out in the ecosystem, just getting connected to the key people to be able to have the conversations, that in itself is worth it's worth its weight in gold. But you have to earn it. Albert's, you have to prove yourself on the program to start getting introductions and building up all of your LOIs, and which is it's been crazy. You're kind of working with a who's who of all of these OG builders, which is it can be quite surreal when you're sitting in there with Jan and the CEO of each one of these protocols. It's actually a bit of a dream if you manage to make it there, where a lot of us, right, as builders are trying to cut through and have those conversations. So the course brings a lot of weight behind it of being able to have those conversations, which is it's powerful. It's a powerful program.
Yeah, man.
I was just gonna say that we've had a lot of experience with Albert. We've had him on the show a couple times, and we get a lot of you guys because it's kind of like the incubator of great builders come through, and we end up interviewing y'all. So we were like, we just got to get connected with Albert. But really appreciate you, Mark, really, introducing yourself to the Bitcoin ecosystem community. Any final words, I guess, that you would have for the community, maybe expectations or something that's coming with your project?
No, absolutely. I would just say, look, our tokens taking a ride, I think, to, all-time low. If you do want to get early access to our terminal, the absolute best way to do it is go and grab Satoshi by virtuals and come into our Telegram. But go to satoshi.io and check that out. I think shout out to you guys for what you guys are doing for the ecosystem and putting together the show and allowing projects like myself and all of the other startup lab and then all of the builders who are doing it by themselves. The platform's amazing to be able to come onto the show, and I really appreciate being invited on.
Yeah, man, we'd love to do a full episode with you, 100%. But guys, go check out. There is 2 Satoshi tokens over there, so make sure you guys are looking at the right one. This is SAI. This is the Satoshi, and this is the wild ride that we've all been on. I got your coin super early, so I'm hoping you guys rock it up here, and I think you guys will. So I'm gonna be a long-term holder for this one. And guys, go check out their Twitter. This is the bot here. This is Satoshi AI agent. And then you can go to this one as well. This is what it's powered by, Satoshi X. So check out all your stuff here. I'm sure you guys can get to anything from these sites as well. But you said what's the website itself?
Yeah, it's satoshi.io. There's a lot of information. We released our white paper yesterday. There's a heap out there. I'm copying. It's really interesting because I went to bed about 3 hours ago. We're copying, I would say we're copying a reasonable amount of FUD around the token price, but that's to be expected. I've produced my receipts as far as the team and that we haven't offloaded any of our tokens. You've just got to, that's part of the challenge, right, of being a CEO. You have to, front up when things aren't going well and when they are going well. It's all I can tell the community is we will ship the terminal. It will be amazing, and I really appreciate your support, Shizzy. That's very cool to hear that you're a token holder.
Yeah, I think like Francis Dune, he set you guys up. I was like, I can't miss this one because I've been missing out on all the virtual stuff, right? Especially because being over here on Bitcoin, missed out on a lot of the early AS stuff. I was like, I gotta get in early on something with doxed founders. Let's go. But I'm in this for an investment, like a long-term investment. Like for me, it's just like I believe in what you guys are building, and you're building over here. You're building in our sector, which is the ordinal sector. So I want to hold as much utility projects as possible. I'm just tired of the memes, right? So I'm excited for you guys.
Yeah. I think it's crazy because I've experienced this before, but the fact that you are doxed and people kind of know what you're doing can often count against you. Like in that sector, people get more hyped about the meme vibe, but it's all good. I'm looking forward to the comeback. It's get on the comeback arc, and once the terminal releases, then it's
speaks for itself.
People
right?
like yourself. People like yourself who have the holdings will have the last laugh, as well as us. So it should be fun.
Excited,
New
looking
Zealand
forward to it.
represent. Yes.
Yeah. So this is one of our longtime community members from New Zealand. PJ and Z says New Zealand represent. Good morning, Mark. So you got some other support within your own native homeland there. So
Love it. Yeah, very cool. Great. Yes. No, it's nice to get a bit of support. I've been copping it. It was really funny. Like someone last night was telling me, "Oh, let's get Zach XBT onto this," and I was just like going, "Cool, I welcome it. Yeah, let's get on a space." So
That's
yeah,
funny.
you just got to stand tall, right? And cop it, and then ship it, and it's all good. We're here to stay.
Yep.
And
Awesome.
this time and day is always open to you. So every Thursday we do Arch Thursdays, really showcasing the Arch builders. So if there's ever a Thursday that you're interested, we have that chat open. Just let us know, yeah, guys, I'm coming in, and you'll be welcome.
Yeah, awesome. Nah, sounds good. Yeah, I'll definitely come in. I normally get up around this time and get a bit of work done before the kids go in. So yeah,
Awesome.
nah, for sure. How long have you guys been running the show? Sorry to take up the time if there's any other speakers.
No, you're fine. We've been doing this since July 2023. We've been covering the space with Ordinal Revolution brand, and then we've been doing the daily Monday through Friday live streams since February or early March this year.
2023
or 2024. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the daily live streams. Yeah, that's there in February, March.
Yeah.
Wow,
but yeah,
man, you guys would have seen a lot of projects.
It's been nuts.
Dude, artists, starving artists. We've we've interviewed everybody, but I wouldn't change it for the world. It's been an amazing experience, and we know there's bigger things to come. We might be in a slow lull right now, but don't worry, guys. We have projects like yours that are gonna spicing up the space. But Mark, we really do truly appreciate you spending time with us today, and we hope to see you back soon.
Awesome. Cheers, guys. Appreciate it.
All right.
Take it easy. Day.
You too.
Yeah, man. Absolutely amazing, dude. Been one of the talk to him since he launched that project, man. It's really cool that we have the opportunity to do so. But we have one more speaker for you guys, man. And Guy, I just want to thank you for your patience, man. We really appreciate it. You've been here since exactly 12 o'clock, grinding it through with us. I appreciate you so much for your patience. And welcome back to Ordinal Revolution.
Oh, thank you so much. Don't bother waiting because I'm seeing all this great content. So I'm just amazed because at the end of the day, we're builders, but we're also lovers also of the whole ecosystem and environment. Plus, Mark is a fellow Bitcoin startup cohort member because VoltFi, for those of you who don't know, just graduated from the Bitcoin Startup Lab last week. And we had last Thursday our demo day to investors and began showing the world other than our inside and deep down early access community what we're building. And it's like a Navy SEAL 12-week program, but for builders. So I highly also recommend. And going towards what we're doing, what we're building, it's exciting times, guys, because listen, Trump in office, all these possible regulations that will expand and allow like the future of Bitcoin DeFi on Bitcoin, and VoltFi, for those of you who also don't know, we're deeply determined to build Bitcoin DeFi, Bitcoin finance. And our product focus more on the derivative side. It's something that's a little bit more complicated for the degens, but basically we're creating a way for you to also get yield on your Bitcoin on layer one with all the security, with everything. And you do that by being able to bet, hedge, speculate, not the price of Bitcoin, but the speed by which the price changes. And that's something that's interesting because like we see the adoption in the last, I don't know, 18, 12, 24 months of institutions, pension funds, and the derivative side is something more complex in finance. And my co-founder and I, we come from this background. So it's easy for us to build this foundation that institutions, family offices, nations will feel more at home because they're able to maximize and increase their Satoshi bags, let's say that way. And we're happy to be here through Arch because Arch, first of all, is we feel that Arch is pushing the boundaries of what's possible on chain on the Bitcoin layer one. Right now, we're on testnet, all the projects, but we're deep down building, and you see that the Arch team is an awesome team. They love what they do. They're doing something differentiated that once the whole ecosystem goes live, things will begin to change. And we see that there is a brighter future for Bitcoin finance. And that's a little part of what we're actually building with them, you know?
Yeah. Well,
To give us, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you a question because I think your project is very interesting, and today is a perfect example of the volatility. With Cynthia Loomis kind of having this pre-announcement and Bitcoin going up and down, right? So you could take advantage of that. But I almost feel like VoltFi is going to be a part of this new institutional market share. Is that, am I off on that, or do you think that's going to be developing here?
We are building for the institutional capital, but also we're building a solution that each and everyone can also use it. It's not something that you don't have access. If you have a Satoshi on your Uniset or on your Xverse, you're gonna learn what the institutional guys do, how they hedge, how they bet, you know? So, but the majority of the capital is focused towards the bigger guys because we see the long term of Bitcoin. We're not building for the bull cycle. We're building for 5-10 years. We're building for a Bitcoin market cap of not 2 trillion, but 10 trillion, 20 trillion. Mm-hmm. And the adoption will continue to increase. And one of the metrics that we feel that's really important is the time that users will spend on chain, on Bitcoin layer one. Because if we go back 25 years, 30 years ago to the start of the internet, that metric was very important for the whole growth of the ecosystem.
Yeah, yeah,
and we're doing our part. We're doing our part because, listen, the financial side of Bitcoin and crypto and money, man, that's like a 1 quadrillion market of total money, of total assets, real estate. And when we talk about what we see the market today, everyone, of course, is looking towards their bags. Is it going to go to 200 or not, or what's going to happen, you know? But at the end of the day, in the short term, we have an impact and we have volatility. And if you know how to trade the short term, you can use a little bit of your Satoshis and get yield on your total bag. And that's just our first product. We have many other ideas, but we're focused on launching on Arch Network's mainnet launch and provide this option. You see stable coins coming out on Bitcoin in the future. You see all these liquidity pools, all these projects that you guys have been interviewing and talking to people. If you we all went back like 18 months, 12 months ago, man, that was just like unbelievable, you know? So we feel that Arch is in a position, we feel at home. Those guys, they're doing serious work, they're dynamic, they don't waste time. Our project is being able to go at a faster speed now in our integration because for you guys, what's VoltFi right now? We just announced formally our partnership with Arch last week, and we're in the final moments of, we're on testnet already, but we're in the final moments of launching formally our testnet. And we expect all of you that are Arch network users and all the other protocols to go to VoltFi, use it. We're going to have a channel, an exclusive channel inside of Arch Networks Discord. Go there, say what you love, say what you hate, you know. We want to iterate, we want to make the user interface better, the experience, and that's all part of the process. And we're starting at the right time because everything is on testnet. And once it goes to mainnet, man, I'm just amazed of the potential.
Yeah, man. And the best part about that too is we know that using Arch is very incentivized from the Arch team, right? So not only will you be able to test your site out, but you're actually earning the Arch token as well, which is really awesome. And it kind of gives you that reason to really kind of push over there and start using it. And for me, it's not even really about the the airdrop or nothing like that. I actually want to learn. I'm someone who never participated in this type of environment. I actually like to kind of learn, and that's an awesome way too. When you're doing stuff on testnet, you're actually learning how to use these products before you lose money, right? Because when I learn on mainnet, I lose money, like because I try to test all limits, right? I try to just get in there and try to play. But doing it on testnet, it's going to be a really, really good situation for anyone involved.
And Shizzy, you do all that and you learn without losing money, without risking capital.
100%.
So for those of you that really love crypto, man, that's a possibility that you don't find it out there. Okay, and if we go back a little bit to the beginning of your conversation with Nick today, before Mark, when you guys talked about runes and liquidity and the Bitcoin maxis, everything that every single builder is doing on Bitcoin, at the end of the day, is creating fees or will create fees once it goes to mainnet. It's making miners increase the hash rate because they have more interest to make more money. And if you increase the hash rate because you want to make more money as a miner, the whole network gets stronger. And
Yep.
for the maxi that does not want to touch anything that we're building and say that we're crazy and say that we're wasting our time, at the end of the day, when they go to sleep, their Bitcoin on cold storage is stronger than it is today. So it's a
Yeah.
win-win for everyone. And we're so happy to be here. And thank you guys for having us again,
Yeah, for sure. Those guys just like to argue. They just want for argument's sake. So I'm starting to realize that it's best to ignore them. But yeah, dude, this is to me a product that is institutional type of financial tool and product, right? Like, so if you are here in the Bitcoin ecosystem right now, the attention span is very short for people that are like in ordinals every day, in and out. But as our space matures, you're going to see more and more products like this. And if you actually take the time to learn, you're going to have an edge on being one of the first people that are interacting with this. And then you can learn kind of like what Guy said, what the TradFi guys do. Because I'll tell you this, if there's tools over here for TradFi guys to make more Bitcoin with their Bitcoin, they're going to utilize it, but they want the most professional tools type of platforms and stuff. And so I'm excited for this. And I love that you said you guys are building for like 5-10 years. You're not building for the next 6 months, which that's where I'm hearing a bunch of crybabies on the timeline about right now. No offense, but yes, actually offense. Stop crying about every little thing, guys. Have some patience here. And if you need to try to get some quick gains, you can go over to the next couple chains, do that, and be patient over here, because eventually it's going to come back, because you have projects like this that is building, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, but that's one of the advantages of not being the first rodeo. Like our team, at VultFi, we have a lot of experience in a lot of ways, in a lot of fronts, and we had the successes and the failures, the hard knocks. And if you're a builder in a small pre-seed startup, man, you gotta be able to have a vision, be positive, inspire people, hear the criticism, because of course we're building to solve a pain point for a specific user group. We're not doing what because we feel we're important or we love the solution, you know. So that motivates us to keep going, you know, and that's exciting.
100%, man.
100%.
I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited for you guys to go to testnet. And like I said before, when you're ready to go testnet, reach out to us, and we'll get you guys one for a full episode. Really kind of breaking down your testnet. Actually, I want to learn from you. Like, I would love for you to show me what's going on with it. So I'm excited for the product. I'm excited for your testnet. Do you have any updates on when can we be expecting that? March, April? What are you thinking?
Our testnet.
Yeah.
I would say like February, like next week, you know.
Let's go.
I don't want to promise like the first version. Of course, we're being faster to market with a raw version. We have many updates coming. We want to hear feedback, and we're gonna be fast. So we're aiming. I'm not promising days, but it's like in the next few days, you know.
Man. And
Love
I'll give you some live feedback right away. So you
Once,
definitely get that
once
from
we're
me. I'm excited
live,
for it.
I'll let you guys know. And I'm glad to be here every single time that you guys invite me, because it's just a great space. You guys have a vision of the future. The conversation is soft, it flows, and you have a way of reaching every single people that's watching. And I love it to be part. So thank you so much.
Well,
Thank you for the
man. I
kind
appreciate it.
words. Yeah, thank you for the kind words, guy. And it's been amazing again to have you on. We thank you for taking your time with us and the community here, and we can't wait to have you back.
I'm just gonna finish with one thing.
Okay.
Everyone, go to voltfi.xyz. If you wanna be early, sign up. Go to X or page VoltFi Labs and sign up. Every single follower makes a difference. Tell your friends. Let's build the future together.
Love it.
All right.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So guys, make sure you go to the website and sign up for the testnet there, and get familiarized with it. And I'm super excited about this, and can't wait till when we can start showcasing, doing some transactions on here.
You see, it's live, but it is not quite live yet, But once we announce, it's gonna be this user interface a little bit improved. But if you wanna play around, it's there already.
It's like my heartbeat. Like, that's how I feel. I'm like going.
But just to explain, that heartbeat is the speed by which the Bitcoin price goes up and down. So if you look in the top graph, you don't see the bulges. But at the end of the day, those micro changes, that's what we're gonna offer you guys the chance to trade,
I love it.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. So you guys are gonna be able to short or long the volatility, or like how intense it is, guys. So it's gonna be fun, man. It's like a professional, like mature degen way of doing things, but I love it.
And Yagobi, you don't have to go off chain. You don't risk security. You don't lose custody. All because of Arch. The programmability of Arch is allowing us builders to make something that will impact everyone in the future.
Exciting, man. Exciting.
Awesome. All right, Guy. Well, thank you so much again for spending time with us, and we will see you soon, sir.
Thank you.
Take it easy.
Absolutely awesome. Another very successful Arch Thursday. I swear, dude, before I feel like every Wednesday I'm like ready to jump off the cliff, the Bitcoin cliff, right? And then get on something else. But every Arch Thursday seems to kind of bring me back on and get me ready for the weekend. But next Wednesday I'll probably be feeling the same way. And then Arch Thursday bring me back to solid ground. Very that's one thing, dude. I'm excited for Bitcoin utility. I'm excited for Bitcoin DeFi. I'm excited for Arch. I'm excited for everything that Mark is building as well with the Satoshi AI and being able to, really have the AI do everything for me. I can just kind of hang out and look at Volt file all day and see my heartbeat just keep going. So really excited today, man. Absolutely amazing show. And we got 619 people in here. Appreciate every single one of you guys, man.
For sure, for sure. I'm curious what your thoughts were on how I said there's probably going to be a couple winners from each kind of sector of our ecosystem, and then they will probably start to kind of work cohesively. Do you think that's possible? Like maybe 1 to 3 Bitcoin layer 2s, like, maybe 1 to 3 of these TEE environments, and then meta protocols are going to have like, runes and all that stuff. But like, or how do you see that playing out?
I see that one's going to win. I see there will be winners and the losers. And they're not. When I say losers, I don't feel like they're going to lose completely and just go away and die. They'll still have some use cases, but they'll be 20% of the usage on chain, right? And I feel like I don't, not even saying this because it's Arch Thursday. Like, this is not a paid partnership with Arch whatsoever. I just feel like, if you can build something as fast as Solana with Bitcoin finality, I just don't see, and if you're successful at that, I just don't see how there's even a number 2. I feel like Arch is 1 and 2, and there could be a number 3, right? And I say that in the sense of usage and volume and everything else, like on chain. I mean, again, you might use Bitcoin one day and not even know you're using Arch, but Bitcoin is fast. What are you talking about? And not really understanding the underlying technology.
That would be an amazing day, right? If someone said that and it actually was true. Bitcoin is fast, but like they don't know how. It doesn't matter. We know, but they won't. But anyways, yeah, perfect way to wrap up today's show. I want to say thank you to all the Arch builders and of course Nick again, co-founder of Arch Network. And thank each and every one of you guys. We know that you guys learned something today if you were paying attention even a little bit. So that's our goal, is for you guys to take one thing at least from our show and learn from it. But if you could check out our partners, we would greatly appreciate that. Emblem Vault is the interoperability tool for the Bitcoin layer 1 asset classes. You have Ordinals and Runes, but they're going to start with Ordinals, guys. You're going to be able to jump your Puppet, your Node Monk from Bitcoin layer 1 to Merlin layer 2 or to Abstract Ethereum layer 2. So they have 5 different chains for their EVM cohort that they're deploying on right as we speak. So be excited about that, because I think that's going to bring more ordinal adoption. And so you maxis out there that are probably like, oh, we don't want that. It's going to help you, you big dummies. So just listen. Anyways, they also have their AI wallet, Bitcoin wallet coming to their product suite as well. So be ready for that. And you can learn more at emblem.vision. And then BetBTC is the predictions marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem. They utilize ICP and Bitcoin technology for you to be able to place bets on their marketplace. All you got to have is an Xverse wallet and some Bitcoin, and it takes 6 blocks, and then your deposit will go through and you can start placing bets. They're going to soon have the create your own markets, which is going to be very, very interesting and fun. In my opinion, I'm going to participate in that big time, because you're going to be able to earn up to 1.5% of the total volume of bets placed on the markets that you create. You can learn more at betbtc.win. And then BitPerp, the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem, is going to be launching on a Bitcoin layer 2 here, I would say in about 2-3 weeks. The paper trading competition is going to be announced any day soon. And they have another big announcement too that's going to be changing the game. So make sure you have your notifications on and follow them on X. But you can learn more at bitperp.io. Don't forget about Fluid tokens. They were the first to introduce a retail staking vaults on Bitcoin layer 1. If you are a ordinal founder, but you've established a community, that's an important thing. So I want to start emphasizing that. You got to have established a community. Reach out to Raul so you can get a staking vault set up and you can get your holders to stake their ordinals. Or if you have extra rune, to stake the rune to earn different assets. And you can learn more at fluidtokens.com, and you can click on the Bitcoin logo side. Merlin Chain, your #1 scaling solution for Bitcoin and native L1 assets and protocols. If you are a builder on Bitcoin layer 1 and you want your protocol to be a bit more flexible and seamless, reach out to Merlin Chain and apply for a grant. And they have great builder support there. And if you're a retail user and you want to swap maybe your wrap Bitcoin for Dog Go to the Moon, you can do so on merlinswap.org. Don't forget about our integrated partners and Foxy building the metaverse called a Bitverse on Bitcoin, and the first-person shooter game called Clan Wars. Very exciting for us to stream that this weekend, I believe. And then Ordinal Hive, also the aggregator Ordinal marketplace. Aggregator meaning they'll find you the cheapest Ordinals on Bitcoin layer 1 or layer 2 Merlin Chain, and their trader tools is out of this world. Live mempool updates, gonna be wild. So thank you so much for checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job as always, man. If you guys wouldn't mind checking out ordinalrevolution.com, we have some of the best articles dating all the way back to last year. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel we can help them get started and code up to where we are today. If you guys are interested in a VPN, we have the #1 VPN with a 70% off coupon, guys. Don't pay full price. Use our link. And get a VPN. You honestly should not be just going to sites, just giving people your IP address, which gives them your real address. It's the last thing you guys want, man. Use a VPN. It also allow you to use things like MEXC and stuff that they say you're not allowed to use, but you are allowed to use, especially when there's no KYC available. Use a VPN. It is legal. It is nothing wrong with it. Everyone should actually have one. Get it today at ordinalrevolution.com. If you guys need tickets, the Bitcoin 2025 Las Vegas, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be Vegas. It's going to be all-time highs. 300K Bitcoin is what I'm expecting at the date of this. Probably with a dip going into the conference, which usually happens. But I don't think anyone's going to be mad at a $300,000 Bitcoin dipping to 280, right? So very looking forward to that. And if you guys need merch for anything crypto, we have it here. And if you guys would like us to add your PFP or anything else, just reach out to us. I'm at Shizzy Sats. He's at Yagobi Verse, and that's at Ord Revolution, all on X. Links are actually down below in the show notes as well. And if you guys want any of this merch here, check everything out at ordinalrevolution.com. And guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. And until tomorrow,
peace.
We OG, oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock. Ayy. Runes is coming. Everybody on a knot. Ayy. It's a nuisance. Ordinal Revolution. Ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls. Bet I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.